Strange Encounter by Jarvis B. Chavez. As I got closer, I saw the bright lights emanating from the doorway of the establishment. I witnessed a multitude of attractive young people coming and going from this new club, the Cauldron. This place was jumping with activity the night before Halloween. I can only imagine how packed it's going to be tomorrow night. I was very curious to check this place out. The pounding of the music grew louder and louder the closer I got. I stopped at the door. I took a deep breath and adjusted my glasses. Then I walked into the club. It had a dance floor at one end and a full bar with tables and booths at the other. I pushed my way through the crowd at the bar. I ordered a club soda on the rocks to start the night. The bartender said, "That'll be $8.50, please." Yikes, $8.50 for bubble water? I can get a big bottle of this stuff at the Gash and Dash for $1. I looked through my pockets and found a loose $10 bill. "Keep the change," I said in disgust. I moved to the back of the bar and stood next to the jukebox. I can't believe some people spend this type of money on drinks every weekend. There were a couple of short guys, college-age kids, leaning up against the wall. They were holding their beers and trying to look cool and available. I was beginning to second-guess my decision on coming here. If I leave now, I can still get into one of the other clubs on the east side of town. I then heard this very sexy voice say,
"You got a light?"
To my surprise, I saw a woman staring at the selections on the jukebox, holding up her hand with a cigarette between her fingers. Wow! Where did she come from? I thought to myself. It almost seemed she just popped out of thin air. She was stunning. She had short black hair and wore a little black number that was both low-cut and short.
"Well?"
she exclaimed.
"You got a light?"
I checked my suit pocket and produced a lighter. "Here you go." She got close to me and said,
"Thanks. Nice suit. Silk?"
100% imported. She reached over and rubbed the lapel of my suit between her fingers.
Very nice. I like a man with taste."
"Thank you. Are you here alone? Can I buy you a drink?" I asked. She took a puff of her cigarette.
"Yes, to both questions. I am here alone, and I would love a drink."
She grabbed my hand and led me towards the back of the bar, all the while swinging her hips back and forth, which made the short stroll to the table enjoyable. We sat in the corner booth. The waitress came to our table.
"What can I get for you folks tonight?" "I'll take a vodka cranberry cocktail,"
the woman replied. The waitress then turned to me. "I'll have a gin and tonic."
"Okay, I'll be right back,"
said the waitress. The woman leaned in and said,
"My name is Tanya."
"I am Christopher. Chris for short." She smiled and said,
"It's nice to meet you. I love the frames of your glasses. Are they designer?"
"Good eye," I said. "Yes, they are."
"So, what line of work are you in?"
she asked me. I reached into my suit pocket and produced a business card and handed it to her. She took it and read it aloud.
"Christopher Sarandon, CPA, a professional accounting corporation."
She shook her head in approval. She put the card in her handbag.
"I wouldn't have expected any less of a handsome and well-dressed man such as yourself."
Tanya turned to me and said,
"I am in this sales and distribution game myself. Is this your first time here?"
She added, "Yes. Someone just told me this place opened up, and I wanted to come check it out for myself. How about you?"
"I've been here twice before. Once for the grand opening a month ago, and then again a week ago. It's not bad, a nice crowd. The music is good, and the drinks are strong."
"I usually hang out on the east side when I'm in town," I added. I travel a lot for business, I said.
Oh, very impressive,
She responded as she crushed out her cigarette in the glass ashtray. Our drinks arrived.
Okay, that was 1 G&T and 1 vodka cranberry. All right, that will be $24.75.
Double yikes, I thought to myself. I pulled out my wallet. Let's see what we got. I put my wallet down on the table and opened it. Tanya immediately commented,
That's a beautiful calfskin wallet.
Thanks. I also noticed her eyeing the thick stack of bills on one side and all the bright-colored bank cards on the other side of the wallet. Here you go. I gave the waitress 3 $10 bills.
I'll be back with the change.
No, babe. Keep it. The waitress smiled.
Thanks.
I noticed a small tattoo on her chest just above her heart that read, Bride of Satan. That's an interesting tattoo. Are you into black magic? She tilted her head back and let out a laugh.
What would you know about that? So, anything that is different, that doesn't fit into your antiquated Judeo-Christian cookie-cutter mold is dark or wrong?
No, I didn't say that. I tried to sound sincere and apologetic. She reached over and grabbed my face under my chin with her hand.
My mind is open to a far greater truth than you can possibly comprehend.
She then released my face.
Some of us know where the real power is. We believe in giving our loyalty in exchange for all of life's treasures. Have you ever heard the story of Prometheus?
She lit another cigarette.
It's a Greek myth. Prometheus was a titan. He stole the flame of knowledge from the gods and gave it to mankind. Prometheus is the hero of that story for wanting to give mankind knowledge, a power over their own destiny. A true rebel who believed that power should be shared and not hoarded. What kind of deity would be so selfish and heartless as to not share all the secrets of the universe with his creation, his children? Are we truly free, or just slaves, put here only to endure cloistered lives devoid of pleasure and serve the needs of one cruel god?
I guess that's one way to look at it, I said. She put her hand over mine.
It's the only way for any enlightened individual to look at it.
A man walked up to our table and motioned for Tanya to follow him. He was a tall, skinny guy who appeared to be hunched over, unable to stand up straight. He was bald and very pale with dark circles under his eyes. He wore a ring through his nose like a bull. He looked like a zombie from one of those cable shows. Tanya immediately crushed out her cigarette and excused herself.
I need to talk to someone for a minute. Be right back. Don't go away.
She smiled and squeezed my hand before leaving. They walked to the bar and began to have an animated conversation by the looks of it. She appeared to be angry. She even shoved the guy a couple times. He just seemed to take it without question and just kept nodding his head in agreement. Finally, she walked back to the table.
Sorry about that. He is just a business acquaintance who informed me of some bad news. I'll deal with it later.
Okay, if you're sure, I added. She appeared a bit shaken from her conversation. She grabbed her handbag and pulled out another cigarette. She then motioned for the waitress. I offered her a light.
Oh, thank you.
She smiled. The waitress came over.
Can I get you something? Yes, I'd like another vodka cranberry. And tell the bartender to put a little more vodka in this one, okay, sweetie?
The waitress wrote down the order and left. Are you sure you're okay? I asked again.
I'll be fine. The news just caught me a little off guard, is all.
The waitress brought over her drink. I pulled out my wallet again and paid for it. She took a couple of big gulps.
Now that's a vodka cranberry.
She laughed. She sat there for a second, admiring her drink.
It's such a beautiful color.
She held up her glass.
Isn't it such a beautiful color?
I don't know. It looks very colorful and festive to me.
It looks like blood.
She grinned fiendishly.
You know, many ancient cultures believed that all your physical traits, like intelligence and strength, resided in your blood. These cultures believed that through the ritual of human sacrifice, those traits would enhance the one who drank it, including extending their lives.
I didn't know what to say. Oh, fascinating was all I could come up with.
You know what? I am tired of this place. Let's get out of here. Let's go have some real fun. You got a car?
Yeah, round back, I answered. Where to? I asked.
Back to my place. I have a loft uptown, near the Granger district.
A very posh neighborhood, I nodded my head.
If you're good, we might share a little passion. Only, of course, after a lot of pain.
She leaned in and gave me a small kiss on the mouth. Then by all means, let's go, I agreed. As we got to the car, I walked around the passenger side and opened the door. As I opened it, a naked body fell out of the car. Tanya let out a scream. I took advantage of this moment and penetrated her neck with my fangs. She only managed to let out a gurgle before going limp in my arms. "You whore!" I threw her body to the floor. "Your blood tastes of disease." I spit up some of her blood. I bent over and grabbed my stomach with both hands and suffered painful cramps. Oh, God! Oh, I think I'm going to be sick. The cramps quickly subsided. I finally steadied myself and stood up straight. I can't stand people who don't respect their bodies. I bent down over her and grabbed her face and shook my head. You're not dead yet. You're just near death. That's why you can't move or speak. I know you can still see and hear me. You see, I can read your thoughts. Yes, I am a vampire, but no, this is not your lucky day, my dear. I am not going to turn you into one of my kind. You see, there are rules about this sort of thing. It's complicated. It's all about bloodlines. And your blood is toxic waste. Tanya, my dear, you are simply unworthy of such an honor. I did thoroughly enjoy our conversation tonight. I haven't been that amused in years. The way you just went on and on about being enlightened and so connected to the Dark One. Where did you get all that stuff from? Satanism for dummies? I have one question. Where is your Dark Lord now? I stood up and turned to my right and then to my left. I don't see him coming to your rescue. You mean, after all, you have done in his name, he is not here to pay you back for all of your loyalty? Well, that's not cool. I bent over her again and pointed to her tattoo. You go so far as to call yourself the bride of Satan. Don't you get it, honey? He just takes and takes until you got nothing left. And at the end, he takes you. He's every selfish and abusive boyfriend or husband you've ever had. Satan, or Prometheus as you called him in your little story, doesn't share. He only gives when it will advance his agenda and, of course, compromise you. You would have been better off working for yourself. You dumb, ignorant bitch. There are so many different players in this game. He is only one of the fallen. There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy. That's from Hamlet, by the way. No, that's not an egg dish. I said Hamlet, not omelet. I pinched the bridge of my nose with my fingers and shook my head in disgust. I am surrounded by idiots. Of course, you're no angel, are you? You were sizing me up as soon as I came in the door. You immediately noticed my silk suit and expensive accessories, which, by the way, actually belonged to our naked friend over there. I pointed to the lifeless body by the car. He is the real Chris Sarandon. I caught him in this alley and relieved him of his life and possessions a few minutes before I walked in the door. We all like to dress up and pretend to be what we're not this time of year. My name's Pete, by the way. No, we are not all Eurotrash named Vlad. Another gift we vampires possess is a very acute sense of hearing. That's right, I overheard the conversation you had with the handsome hunchback at the bar. Heard you get angry at him because he still hadn't disposed of the body of last night's victim. I also heard you tell him to be prepared to help you out with me later this evening. That brings me to your choice of cutlery. I reached to the floor and grabbed her handbag and opened it. This little dagger? Which I briefly saw when you pulled out a cigarette. This is a dagger commonly used in satanic worship. You were going to sacrifice me in some sort of ritual. Now that would not have been nice. Meaning you have done this sort of thing before. Hang out in a bar, looking for some poor schmuck to sacrifice, then stealing their wallets and cars. As for ritual blood drinking, you humans have to eat the corpse and not just drink the blood for that ritual to work. Television and movies get it wrong all the time. That's why I only watch YouTube. At least they get it right once in a while. I just love those tinfoil hat-wearing conspiracy nuts. You did promise me a night of pain and passion. I smiled. I gotta say, you were half right. It was painful for you. I glanced at my new watch and said, "Hey, look at that. It's past midnight. Happy Halloween! Wow, it's getting late. I gotta run. If I double time it, I can still make it to the docks and grab a quick bite before sunrise. Tell your hubby I said hi." I heard her heart stop beating. I stopped, pointed to Tanya, and said, "Now you're dead." I better get out of here before the police show up. They are really going to love this little scene. I started to walk down the alleyway. I swear, what's a guy have to do to get a decent meal around here? Do I have to move to a ultra-conservative, orthodox religious country? Where have all the virgins gone? And what's with all this clubbing and bed hopping? What happened to the days where people were just happy being dull and would save themselves for marriage? Maybe I should try moving to Canada.